And welcome back to Condo Craze and HOAs. I'm Karen Curtis, and we're here every Sunday at 11 on 850 WFTL. But we also have our YouTube channel, Condo Craze and HOAs. You can see Eric Glazer, who's board certified in Community Association Law, and myself, Karen Curtis. We are live in our studio, and we can also take your questions in the chat box on our YouTube channel, or you can call the station 877-850-8585 for anything that's making you crazy from one week to the next in your condo or HOA. Lots of new laws going on. Lots of questions for Eric. He gives you free legal advice right here on this show. It's been on the air for 15 years.
15 years going
never
strong.
steered anybody wrong.
Never woke up on a Sunday and felt like I was going to work.
No, we love it.
This is fun. Love speaking with you guys. Actually, honored when the phone rings. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. When the phone rings, I am honored that somebody is calling us for legal advice. I mean that. All right. If you're a fan of the show, just don't forget to do two things. Number one, subscribe to the Condo Craze and HOAs channel on YouTube, because you don't only get a chance to watch us live, but you can watch any prior show. I will tell you that I went to Tampa and Bradenton this past week, and everybody was telling me, and I mean everybody was telling me, how they love to go to the YouTube channel now.
Oh, they do?
And
Good.
just watch all our prior shows.
Yes.
They love it at their convenience.
Right.
So,
Because a lot of times questions that are asked on the phone will be questions they have,
absolutely.
and they get the answer.
Exactly. And they get the answer without having to ask it themselves. And, of course, join our email list, 10,000 and going strong. Subscribe at condocrazeandhoas.com. Again, condocrazeandhoas.com. By joining each week, you're going to get emails about the show, our blog, our free seminars, our newsletters, updates on the law, and a whole lot more. And, of course, you can also now follow the show on Facebook, TikTok, Apple, and Spotify. Lot of other outlets. We are all over the place, which is
we're
great.
on every platform imaginable.
Yeah, which is great. And that's thanks to Robert Lissman. Robert, I know, is listening out there. Robert got this all started for us. Robert, thank you.
Well, it was tricky because he had to deal with a live radio show.
Oh, man, Robert.
And integrate it into a YouTube channel.
Yeah, anybody needs an electronic guru, that deals with all this stuff. He is the man. Thank you, Robert. And, of course, we also do a blog every Monday morning at hoa-condoblog.com. Okay, let's start again. I'm only doing it for 15 years, right? hoa-condoblog.com.
And the reason why it's not condos and HOAs is because someone took it.
It was taken, those bastards.
Yeah.
hoa-condoblog.com. Tomorrow's topic, all about bad debt. We left somebody out, by the way. Not fair. There's 4 people running the show today. And that's my daughter, Jamie, the producer over there. Jamie, you want the camera on you? No, that's okay. Man,
oh my God,
she's the skinniest,
beautiful.
best-looking one of all of us and doesn't want to go on camera. Are you sure? It's your one shot. Maybe you'll be discovered.
No, I'm good.
No? Okay, she's good. All right, never mind. Thank you, Jamie. All right, before we get going, I just want to thank everybody that showed up in Bradenton and Tampa this past week to get their board certification. We met lots of great people who really love getting educated. And Karen, I got to tell you, who love you and who love the show. And here are some of their comments from the seminar evaluations. What do you think were the strengths of the seminar? Credibility of the speaker, the presenter, up-to-date, straight answers, gives good advice. Any additional comments? Really superior. I guess that means to any other seminar that's out there.
Well, you invented it.
Yeah, we have so much fun with it. We update it. Let me tell you something. You think it's easy to keep it current every year?
No.
And keep it fresh? It's not. Great content, well-spoken, very knowledgeable, excellent presentation.
And this is a seminar that allows you to get certified if you're a new board member.
Exactly.
You don't have to just sign the affidavit. You can actually learn. Take this free seminar with Eric, and he teaches you how to be a board member.
You do know that before I exit this planet, I will make it law that you can't take that freaking, you can't sign that stupid form. That will happen, and we're hoping that it's going to be this year.
Yes.
That will be.
But these people,
my
they're craving
legacy.
information, right?
They are crazy for information, and it's unfortunate that the legislators don't see it that way. I don't get it. God forbid. Do you know how many times I'll take the seminars, right? The list of all seminars that I do, and I'll purposely send it to all the legislators.
Oh, okay.
Every damn one of them. And you think one of them would show up to a seminar and see what's actually going on out there? Not One.
What were you
Not one.
telling me? How many of our lawmakers in the state
right.
live in a condo or an HOA?
Senator Pizzo, right? When unfortunately the Champlain Towers fell, Senator Pizzo went and made a public statement that said, "I'm the only one in the Florida legislature that lives in a condo. Everybody else lives in an HOA."
Okay.
They kind of made it like, no one really cares what's going on
And
here.
if you're in an
except for-
HOA, you're thinking you don't have DBPR. You're kind
Right.
of on your own.
Right, and
Why
they
do I
wanna be
need?
left
Why
out.
do I need to be educated?
Exactly, and that's kind of the thinking. I think, don't make us go to class because we know everything anyway.
But half the state lives in a gated community condo
Correct.
or HOA.
Correct, but it's so important to learn the laws now
Yes.
more than ever. And the funny part is they made the directors and officers of a condo individually liable. Think about that. Individually liable if they don't go through the new inspection laws, the new reserve laws, etc. Yet took out the requirement for them to learn the laws. Does that make any sense to anybody? It's laughable.
You're liable, but you don't have to know.
But you don't have to know it, right? It's okay.
What you're facing.
Okay, let's go back to this. What do you think were the strengths of the seminar? Clarity. You were great. This is the third time I did it. You're the best.
That speaks volumes.
And I enjoyed it so much. Love learning about all the new legislation, and that's really great. Guys, I am so happy to be with you each and every time.
I
Really.
know you are.
Means
you live
a lot.
for this. This is your legacy. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that you're done with your seminars?
Done with my seminars.
Okay. You've
Yeah.
been all over the state.
Little break for a few months now.
Okay, all right.
We'll probably do one online.
Okay. a
People are
Zoom.
begging me for that already. So, yeah, we'll do one online. Absolutely.
Well, we've been very busy. We've
Yeah.
got Halloween coming up, but I'll tell you, this another mass murder, it just doesn't end.
Yeah, it doesn't end.
And in Maine, of all places.
Right? I mean, you figure.
At a bowling alley.
Isn't it crazy? Isn't it amazing that you never hear, and I don't want to jinx it, but you never hear if something like that takes place in, like, New York City? Isn't it pretty wild?
A mass shooting
You know?
in New York
Well, you never hear kids in New York City somebody in New York City going to school with a gun. It always
Right.
happens in some weird
Yeah.
location in the burbs somewhere where some kid in the burbs does it, but never in, like, the inner city. It's kind of well, I shouldn't say that. You had of course, in the tragedy here in Florida,
Right.
but you never hear like a city like New York or LA. Just doesn't happen.
I don't know.
But here's a guy. What makes this case kind of amazing? He was in a mental institution, right? And he was still able to keep his hands on the most powerful weapons that can be bought and sold.
Because
now,
they have yellow flag laws there, not red flag.
not red flags. Well, look, Republican or Democrat,
Plus, he's military. He trains people
right?
to
Oh,
shoot.
this guy was an expert, right? Whether you're a strong Second Amendment person or not, you have to believe we have a broken system out there. When a guy as deranged as Robert Card can be committed to a mental hospital, and then not have these weapons taken away from him, and who could really argue against
Well,
that?
red flag would have been the family could have said you
Right.
need to take the weapons away, but yellow flag is the government. And
Whatever it is, when you're committed to a mental institution, I'm sorry, there should be some
Yeah,
way
but
of checking if you have weapons at home.
Esteban Santiago in Alaska was committed, and then once they get back on their meds, the FBI gave him back
Gave
his
him
gun.
back his gun.
He flew to Fort Lauderdale with the gun into baggage claim, went to baggage claim, got the gun out, and shot people at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport.
there's-
They gave him the gun
They
back.
gave him the gun back. Okay, so there's something wrong with our system. It's about time Republicans and Democrats sit down and try to work out a system that balances Second Amendment rights with the practicality of making sure that these weapons don't wind up in the hands of people
I don't think
who
that's ever
shouldn't
going to
have
be
them.
able to happen.
It's
There's way
terrible.
too many weapons.
There's way too
There's-
many idiots in the legislature right now who are so far left or far right that there's no middle
You're right.
ground anymore. Even when there is a common sense solution, nope, you can't do it because your party forces you left or forces you right.
Yeah.
That's the way things are right now. If you don't do that, you won't get funded and you're gone.
But because of the Second Amendment, we have more weapons than people in this country.
Yes.
They're
Isn't it
just
amazing?
everywhere.
It's terrible.
There's no way to
Listen.
that you can't unring the bell.
I get it, right? But and listen, the Second Amendment is there, period. We have to deal with it, right? It's there. But doesn't mean that we can't have reasonable laws in place to make sure that people who have mental problems don't get their hands on guns like these, like weapons like these, weapons of mass murder. If Republicans and Democrats can't agree on things like that, I'm sorry, then this country is in worse shape than I thought it was. And
People that have restraining orders against them and aren't allowed to have guns still
Right.
have guns.
still,
I mean,
right.
if you want to get a gun, you're going to be able to get a gun.
Very easily.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And of course, Israel has now invaded Gaza after 1,400 Israelis were brutally killed and 200 hostages remain with Hamas. And more of our youth apparently stand with Hamas than with the only democracy in the Middle East and our #1 ally. It's like, what is there to look forward to? What is going on here with these kids?
I don't know. I mean, the thing is that you've got AP, and Reuters and BBC. They're not allowing the reporters to use Hamas terrorists or militants. They're just
really?
Hamas. You can't.
Right.
Call
You can't
them,
say the words.
You cannot. You
Of course.
cannot put it in writing or report terrorists.
Well,
Even though everyone else
right,
is.
can't say the word. Yeah, why are they terrorists? Are they really? They only killed 1,400 people in one shot. What makes them terrorists?
Never in my life in journalism have I ever encountered
Anything
that
like this.
kind of an editorial decision
Right.
where you can't call whatever a whatever.
It's amazing.
And the other thing is, I went when Croatia was breaking away from Yugoslavia and that war was going on. We took medical supplies there,
Right.
and when we took the medical supplies, we had to take them to a church and decentralize them because there's the black market
Right,
and
right,
all
right.
of that. And in order to get these things to the hospitals,
Right.
the same thing's happening in Gaza.
Right, of course.
You
They're
know
breaking
they're going to
into
get their
warehouses this
hands on it.
morning, yeah.
They will definitely. That's just
Right.
the way war is.
You know what I don't understand? Okay, so everybody they want a ceasefire. Okay, let's say right now we declare.
Humanitarian ceasefire.
Let's say we declare a ceasefire.
They're
Okay,
still
we
going to get their
discla-
hands on the goods.
What is it? What is it? So we stop. Okay, we stop firing. So now, what's the solution? Right? What's the solution going forward? Are the bad guys who killed 1,400 people, raped the women, killed the children, are they going to give up and put their hands up and say, okay,
no, the
you may
point is
arrest
they,
us
they
now?
can get the aid into the Palestinians.
No, right, but okay, after that, what do we do? But they don't want bombing anymore, right? So what do? Are the bad guys going to surrender? Of course not. So since they won't, a ceasefire for anything other than humanitarian aid is a waste of time. Go in, knock them out completely, and I
But
mean
then they take
really
the
knock them out.
hostages. That's a whole nother
But
problem.
I understand, but look at the message Israel is sending. Look at the message. Even if you take hostages, we will still go after you. We will find you. We will hunt you out. We'll go into your tunnels. We'll burn you out from them. And you know what? That'll discourage people from taking hostages in the future. You know that in the future, if you take hostages, Israel's not going to kill. They're still going to kill us. So, yay for
It's
Israel.
just sad.
Yay for them, and yay for the way they're doing this. Keep going, full steam ahead. And I'd say the same thing, and I mean this with the bottom of my heart. I'd say the same thing if anyone from my family was involved. You cannot show them that if you take terrorists, okay, that will slow us down. If anything, you
Hostages.
got to show if you take terrorists, now, if you take hostages, now we will really take you out. Way to go, Israel. They're doing it absolutely the right way. But let's move on to Halloween. Something to look forward to, right?
What's so funny is that if your Halloween is too scary in an HOA, there are laws that say that the trick-or-treaters can sue the homeowner if they're scared too much and it causes
Can you imagine?
duress.
Can you imagine? So we have
And they have rules on how long you can have your
that I
display
saw.
running and the noises.
I
and
actually saw a display that an HOA wants taken down of a stripper who's a skeleton around a pole. Yeah, and they wanted that taken
What?
down.
It's a
I think it's funny.
skeleton.
I think
It's
it's good.
hilarious.
Right? So we have now laws. There was a McDonald's case. The coffee was too hot, right? We have a case where you scared me too much,
Yes.
apparently, than what you're telling me.
It's too scary.
I want a good one. You want to hear what case I won?
What?
I won a case the ice cream was too cold.
Oh,
The ice cream was guy goes on a plane. Guy
it's like
gets
the Goldilocks laws here.
Guy gets served ice cream, right? Frozen ice cream. He breaks his tooth on the ice cream. Comes to me, right? And I made an argument that the ice cream was too cold. It was served frozen. It should have been served softer.
And they paid for the tooth?
25,000.
25,000 for
Amazing. So someone out there won a case that the coffee was too hot, but I won the case the ice cream was too cold. I'll always go down for that.
unbelievable.
Yeah, but Halloween has definitely gotten much bigger over the years. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. And, you know, when we were kids, there were basically very few choices for a costume.
Oh yeah.
You had to wear that plastic mask
Yep.
with the string in the back. You remember that? And you had to breathe through the little holes.
Yep, there's little holes.
Sweat like hell.
And then they had some sort of little garment you had to put on.
Right, exactly.
And you'd always trip over it because it was too long.
Especially for me.
Yeah.
It was impossible to breathe through those things. And I remember, at least in Brooklyn, though, you know what I remember? Especially you get out of school. Your goal was you wanted to make it home without getting hit by eggs and shaving cream. Yeah. That was the big deal in Brooklyn, I'll tell you that.
In Detroit, you had Devil's Night the night before.
Oh, the night before.
You would egg the house and toilet paper the trees. It was a nightmare.
Right.
Did you have Devil's Night in New York?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it seems like Halloween itself has gotten much bigger over the years, and it's all a multi-billion-dollar industry every year.
Yeah, it's
I had a
amazing.
little Casper the Ghost costume with the little holes in the little white outfit. I remember that distinctly.
Right. And I don't remember what I wore. I think something from Sesame Street, but don't tell anybody. We thought that because there's so much dread in the world right now, we all deserve some Halloween fun. So here's what we want this show. We want you to tell us about your condo or HOA in Halloween lingo. For example, my condo looks so scary, its address should be 1313 Mockingbird Lane. Remember that?
But not too scary.
Who was that? Who was 1313 Mockingbird Lane?
That was the Munsters.
Very good. Excellent. Perfect.
I was going to say the White House, but that's 1600
Yeah, or maybe your
Pennsylvania
condo or HOA looks like the Haunted Mansion in Disney, right? Maybe your swimming pool looks like a swamp from Poltergeist, right?
Yeah.
Let us know.
And maybe you have people living there who look like they don't even need to wear a mask or a costume.
Right.
Like you.
There you go. Let us know. It's all in fun. Just let us know. Of course, we'll answer anything else related to your condo or HOA. Give us a call here in the studio, 877-850-8585. Again, 877-850-8585. Or drop us a question in the chat box on the Condo Craze and HOA's channel on YouTube. We'll be
management companies, and there are very small management companies, and I think Affinity sits somewhere in the middle of that, where they are big enough to provide you with all of the back of the house services, the accounting, the infrastructure, the support systems, but small enough to be high touch.
We believe at Affinity that we do the 9 to 5 so that you don't have to do that.
Oh no! An unexpected leak. Jay, you know that's no way to solve a roof problem. Call Best Roofing. We solve roof problems.
We are DMI Paving and Seal Coating, Florida's parking lot experts. We specialize in asphalt paving and repair, including pothole repair, seal coating using JC7 or polytar, concrete curbs, ramps, and walkways, and striping and pavement marking, as well as ADA compliance. We service commercial properties, including homeowners associations, apartment communities, shopping malls, warehouses, stadiums and arenas, and more. Experience is worth more than anything in an industry like ours, and our staff has decades of it. We have specialized equipment for any job, regardless of size, saving you time and money. DMI has a reputable history. We have been in business since 1956. We serve the state of Florida from 6 locations. Let us bid on your next parking lot project. Visit us online at dmipavingandsealcoating.com.
Roomkiss Consultants offer the professional expertise to help condominium and cooperative communities provide safe, compliant buildings for their tenants. We have more than 170 Florida licensed engineers and architects who are experienced with local regulations and can assist with Senate Bill 4D compliance. We can help with milestone structural inspections, capital expenditure evaluations, structural integrity reserve studies, and developer transition reports. Focusing on energy, resilience, maintainability, and sustainability, our experts can help with every phase of the building life cycle. For mitigation after a catastrophic event, building restoration, repair and remediation consulting, or Senate Bill 4D inspections, please visit rimkiss.com.
Welcome back to Condo Craze and HOAs here on 850 WFTL, and also we have our live YouTube channel up and running. You can see Eric Glazer and myself, Karen Curtis, live. We're both wearing our red Condo Craze and HOAs Glazer and Sachs PA Florida Association law shirts with the embroidery on them.
Should have got dressed for Halloween. Just realized.
I know. Well, you're wearing your mask, so that's cool.
Very
If you want to
funny.
call in 877-850-8585, or you can also comment in the chat portion, which we've got lots of comments.
Oh, look at it. Art writes in. He says, my condo unit number does end in 13, but more important than that, there is a guy in my building that looks a lot like Uncle Fester. That's pretty good. I like that. Remember Uncle Fester from Addams Family? Love that. Let's see. Kathy writes in, can more than one or two board members serve on a committee such as the landscape committee? Yes, unless your bylaws prohibit otherwise, absolutely they can. Fred writes in, good morning, Councilor Eric and Karen. Always a lot to learn from. More of a comment from Todd. I've learned that egos can put people with no management experience on a board, which brings bad decisions, inefficiency, and horrific financial management. I don't think egos put them on the board. I think votes put them on the board, right?
You can't just put yourself on
Right,
a board
exactly.
because
It's
you
up
have a
to the
big
people.
ego.
Right. You don't like the person's ego, don't vote for them. Okay, who do we got on the phone?
Joanne in Brevard County.
Oh, Brevard. Very nice. Hi, Joanne.
Good morning.
Hey,
Hi.
Joanne, how are
Hi.
you?
Good morning, Eric and Karen. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Absolutely. How are you?
Okay, good. In the Halloween theme, my board and manager really scared me with their response to my question recently. I live in a condo, and we've had our milestone inspection done by an engineer. He estimated it would cost around $1 million. But we got 5 bids, and they were all well over $1 million.
Okay.
But I asked the board president and the manager at the meeting last week, since we don't have an association attorney, we haven't had one for years, will they be hiring one to look over this $1 million+ contract so as to protect the association? Their reply, both from the board president and the manager, was no. The engineer that did the milestone inspection will review the contract and make sure it protects the association. Have you ever heard of this?
No. Your engineer does not review contracts. As a matter of fact, your engineer is not an
That's what I
attorney.
thought.
Yeah, your engineer is not an attorney.
Right. When did he get his law degree?
Right,
Practicing
exactly.
law without a
A
license?
license. Very good.
As a matter of fact, there are situations out there where I've seen, gets me sick to actually see it, but there are contracts that are presented to you by your engineer, right? You think you're hiring your engineer to save you money, right? You want the engineer to save you
Right.
money on the bidding process. You want to make sure that the general contractor is not ripping you off. Suppose I told you that some engineer contracts say that they get paid based upon the amount of money that the contractor is charging the association to do the job. The more the job
Right.
costs, the more they get paid. How about that one?
Yes.
So the engineer
know.
is not there to protect you. The engineer gets paid the more the job is.
Oh.
Right. So you
Little
definitely don't
incentive.
want your
Yeah,
engineer
that's-
reviewing contracts.
Okay.
First of
So,
all,
what do I do?
it's the practice. If your engineer is reviewing a contract and getting paid for it, then your engineer is committing the unlicensed practice of law. Absolutely, unquestionably, your engineer would be committing the unlicensed practice of law. Your engineer cannot review a contract for money, get paid for it. That's the practice of law. That's this person's opinion.
Okay, good.
Thanks for the call. Hey, we go to...
Thank you, Eric.
You got it. I'm looking at a comment from Leon. Leon writes in, I've not seen a pro-Hamas protest, plenty of pro-Palestinian protests. Just saying. I'm going to call BS on that one, Leon. When people stand in the in protest and say from the river to the sea, right? You know what that means? That means the extermination of Israel and the Jewish people. If that isn't a pro-Hamas rally, I don't know what is. When I see kids in their 20s on the back of a pickup truck wearing headgear and glasses and holding fake weapons and stuff, that isn't a pro-Hamas rally. I don't want the show to turn into a political show.
Too late.
But, Leon, BS, okay? Maybe you're not as, what's the word I'm looking for? You don't just see things the way I do. I don't know if you're of the same religious
Open-minded?
persuasion as I am, but BS, and don't write a comment into me like that ever again. Who else we got on the phone?
Joe in Boynton Beach.
Hey, Joe.
Good morning, Karen and Eric.
Hey, good
How
morning.
are you?
HOA had. I can't hear you.
I hear you. Keep going.
Okay, fine. I'm sorry. An HOA has restrictions for the Architectural Review Board, has to approve any alterations to the exterior. Somebody built a bird cage in the back of the house, and we found out a year later. Are they in violation, or are they grandfathered?
I think they get like 3.5 to 7 in prison for a birdhouse, right? A
Wait a
freaking
minute.
birdhouse. You
What
think,
kind of a bird? You didn't hear the bird for a year?
No, I meant a cage. A birdhouse is the cage in the back of a patio, screened-in area in the back of the patio.
But
it's actually just we're going to worry if someone has a bird
Yeah,
cage
what's wrong? That's
to
a pet.
feed birds. We're talking about,
No,
people
it's screened-in area, a large screened-in area enclosing the back.
if it's a
back
large
patio.
screened-in area that's attached to the house.
yeah, and they have a bird cage inside.
Then I got a problem perhaps with the large screened-in area, right, attached to the house. But if you're telling me someone put an independent bird cage in the backyard, I'm going to say we have more important things to
no,
worry
it's
about.
in the screened in.
But if it's a separate,
No, I'm not talking about a bird cage. Let's try it again.
Right.
A screened enclosure for the patio, a large screened enclosure,
Okay.
high and all.
got it. Okay.
and that's like an aviary?
No question about it. Under your governing documents, there's got to be something that says a structure like that needs to be approved by the
But his question
Architectural
is,
Review Committee.
it's been there a year, so is it now
We
grandfathered
agree.
in?
Now, it was a year later we found out they constructed it.
Look, the statute of limitations starts from when you knew or should have known. If you just found out about it now and there's no reason why you should have known about it earlier, you're fine. And anyway, you'd probably still have a 4-year statute of limitation to force them to take it down. Okay?
But what about the birds?
What happens if some of the board members knew about it and did nothing a year ago?
Again, I'd still think you'd have a 4-year statute of limitations.
Even though, but if
Thanks
they
for
knew
the
about
call,
it, the
Joe.
clock would have started a year ago.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
4-year. We got to keep going. Thanks for the call,
you
Joe.
very much, Eric.
You got it.
Bye-bye.
Who else we got, VJ?
Pat in Boynton Beach.
Hey, Pat.
Hi, Eric and Karen. Eric, thanks for being there, for your logic, your education, and your entertainment. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
He is entertaining.
I have a question. It's not about myself. My sister-in-law lives in Broward County, belongs to a condo association representing condos and villas built in the 1980s on Indian-owned land. I was wondering if a villa is subject to these new 2-story or greater laws.
Couple questions there.
yeah.
Just let me ask you this. If
Yeah.
it's on Indian-owned land, does any of the laws apply to it?
If it's on Indian-owned land, I would
Nothing
say
applies.
nothing applies
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
Really quick for 1 second. As a matter of fact, when the Hard Rock was being built, I remember a portion of the parking garage collapsed at one point, and there was a question of whether or not they have to pass the same types of inspections as other homes in like Broward County or other buildings in Broward County. And the answer I was told was nope.
Nope.
They go through their own. So here you have 2-story villas, right? You're saying
they're 1-story villas.
okay. So the bottom line is, if it's, and then we're excluding Dade and Broward for a minute, excluding Dade and Broward, and the rest of the state, if anything only goes into effect, all these new laws only go into effect if it's 3 stories or more. Now you're saying this is on Indian land, so I would say no, none of it applies. If you're in Dade and Broward, the new inspection laws apply, not depending upon height, but depending upon the size.
Square feet.
The overall square foot. I think it's Broward, it's 3,000. I think in Dade, it's 1,500 square feet. So you can have, let's say, 1 condo unit in Broward, right? Or single story in Broward. It's 1,000 square feet, but you have 4 attached to each other. Now you're 4,000 square feet.
Yes, that's true. They are attached.
Right. So in Broward, let's say, would be 4,000 square feet. Now you are subject to the recertification laws because you're above 3,000 square feet or 3,500 square
But
feet.
the Indian land is going
The
to...
Indian land, I'm going to go with, I think they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't think any of these new
Okay.
clauses apply. Thanks for the call.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for the clarification. I appreciate
You
it.
got it. Thanks for the nice comments. Who else we got, VJ?
Peggy in Boynton Beach.
Hey, Peggy.
Right, a lot of Boynton Beach.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. How
Can
can
you
we help?
explain the difference to me what a written consent is versus a ballot to change governing documents in a condo?
A written consent versus a ballot. Okay, so let's say you want to change the declaration of condominium. You want to add an amendment, right? So what the association does is they send out a limited proxy, and in that limited proxy, right, they're going to ask you. We're assuming that you're not going to show up. You're voting by mail, and that limited proxy will give the board your written consent. So that at the day of the meeting, they open up the envelope, they look at your proxy, and they say, "Oh, look, Peggy has given us her written consent to vote for an amendment to the Declaration of Condominium." The flip side to that would be you don't send that back in. You take that when you get it in the mail and you throw it in the garbage. But you show up on the day that the vote is being taken, and instead of sending in that written consent, you actually show up and you vote in person by ballot. That's the difference. One is in person and one is by mail. Kind of makes sense?
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, they're not doing it in person. It's strictly by mail.
Got it. Okay, so that's giving the written consent.
It's like the last election.
Okay, right, exactly. Okay, thanks for the call, Peggy. Hey,
Okay, great. Thank you.
You got it. We're running late. Let's take our bottom of the hour break. Taking your calls, 877-850-8585, 877-850-8585, or drop us a question on YouTube.
The future of fiber is here. QXC Communications is a fiber network engineering firm based in Boca Raton. We build fiber networks that deliver high-speed internet, Wi-Fi, HDTV, and voice services, primarily to Florida's condominium communities. QXC's AON architecture is the industry's best practice and a game changer for our customers. We run 2 dedicated fibers to each unit. No splitters, no cables. So, every resident gets uninterrupted blazing fast speed and military-grade data security. Our Wi-Fi 6 network deployment powers performance on multiple devices with no dead zones. And the QXC TV app makes everyday programming access a breeze with 3-day rewind and optional cloud DVR. QXC AON Fiber is where the industry is heading. Get connected today.
Is your condominium or HOA in need of accounting services? Look no further. Gerstel, Rosen & Goldenberg is one of South Florida's largest accounting and auditing firms, as recognized by the South Florida Business Journal, and is one of the few accounting firms uniquely specialized to provide accounting services to their growing condominium and homeowner association clientele throughout Florida. With primary offices in Aventura and Boca Raton, satellite offices in Naples and Orlando, and a professional staff of 65, Gerstel, Rosen & Goldenberg is prepared to meet the needs of any condominium or HOA in the state. The professionals at Gerstel, Rosen & Goldenberg also have experience working with timeshares, cooperatives, hotel condominiums, mixed-use buildings, and ancillary operations like restaurants, spas, and country clubs. Put their 25 years experience in your corner. Gerstel, Rosen & Goldenberg, 305-937-0116. That's 305-937-0116 or grgcpa.com.
Someday, you will need insurance. And for that day, you'll be glad you wrote down Insurco Insurance and Financial Services. Why? Because Insurco virtually insures everything. They're a full-line insurance agency that'll put together the best possible coverage and premium for almost anything. Need homeowners or condo insurance? Call Insurco. Need auto or motorcycle insurance? Call Insurco. How about golf cart insurance or trailer and RV insurance? Just call Insurco for a free quote. They're open every day. From renters insurance, officers and directors insurance, and personal liability umbrellas to all types of business insurance, boat insurance, cancer policies, life, health, and annuities. All you need is Insurco. Get a free quote. They service Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. Speak English and Spanish. Insurco Insurance and Financial Services. It's the only name you need. Office at 14401 West Sunrise Boulevard in Sunrise, inside Edmore Chevrolet.
Call 954-846-1206. 954-846-1206. That's 954-846-1206.
All over the world, people have plumbing problems. These problems can be expensive and destructive to fix. Have you ever wondered if there was a way to take care of your plumbing problems without destruction and an outrageous price tag? Welcome to Pipelining Technologies, Inc., where we specialize in fixing your problems without demolition and minimum cutting by means of pipelining. Pipelining is the ability to take a pipe damaged by root intrusion or long-term deterioration and make it new. By means of inserting an epoxy-saturated liner into the pipe and allowing it to harden or cure, leaving behind a brand new pipe.
That sounds great. How can I get pipelining in my home, commercial building, or condominium?
Simply fill out our online contact form and a pipelining representative will get in touch with you in a timely fashion, or call us directly at 561-853-5463.
One.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Condo Craze and HOAs. We are live on 850 WFTL and our YouTube channel, Condo Craze and HOAs. Yes, join us there. You can make comments in the chat box, and you can see Eric Glazer, who's board certified in Community Association Law, in his beautiful red Glazer and Sachs Florida Association Law shirt, and I'm wearing the matching one. I'm Karen Curtis.
I think my face is going to match because of that comment by Leon. Yeah, I think my face is going to be red, too. These are not Hamas marches. These are Palestinian marches. Really, did you see one sign, anywhere in any of these marches on the Brooklyn Bridge that condemns anything that Hamas did? One sign. Nope, not even one. Killed 1,400 innocent, unarmed civilians. You would think you'd see one sign. Nope, not even one. But you know what I like that's happening this week? The donors to all the school got, all the not Jewish and non-Jewish donors to all the major universities, all of them pulling their money.
500 million here and there.
University of Penn, NYU, it just goes on and on the list of universities that are going to now suffer, and thank God, and money talks, you know that. Then you'll start seeing some changes at the college level, and then you'll start seeing perhaps it'll trickle down to the students. I don't know, but
or when this type of thing starts happening in the United States.
Amazing.
I mean, it's just terrifying to be taken from your bed.
Can you know that?
Can you imagine being taken from your bed?
Do you know how you? Picture this. How you feel, quite frankly, as a Jewish person, when the NYPD says it's probably a good idea to the Jewish community to not wear, your yarmulke, or to take away your chai.
Really?
Don't wear anything that shows you. Are you kidding? That's what the NYPD is saying.
Wow,
it's probably not a good idea to do that.
Prophylactic.
Are we living in Germany, or are we living in Brooklyn, New York? It's pretty amazing, right? When you hear that from the NYPD. So, time to fight back, everybody. Time to fight back. Just don't sit and take it. There's a march for 5,000, pro-Palestinians. Why in Brooklyn don't we have a march for 50,000 pro-Israel marchers? Why don't we have that? That's what should be arranged. Okay, back to the phones. Who do we got?
Bob in West Palm Beach.
Hey, Bob.
Eric, thanks for your team. Always good information. So let me lay this on you. We've got the condo. We've got assessment that just finally got the final figures on, which is approximately $10 million. And they say they have to add an extra $2 million for people that they can't collect. But my problem is, and my question is I don't believe the condo has lived up to its fiduciary responsibility, because 2 of these projects have been known for over 10 years. My question is, can someone sue the condo and throw this whole thing into a court and just stop everything? Or have you seen any of these that blow
No,
up?
because you're going to pay for that.
Yeah, I mean, so you want to, in effect, stop the board from making repairs. okay, from making repairs.
No, we are in favor of them. My question is, have you seen any of these things blow up? Because some people are saying it's way too much money, and for sure the building hasn't lived up to its fiduciary
No,
responsibilities.
good luck with that.
No, for 10 years.
No,
That's my question.
these types of
Do they have
cases.
an out to do that?
I think all condo they've kicked the can down the road. They've all ignored it.
Exactly.
Until now.
These types of cases will generally get kicked out of the court. Why will they get kicked out of the court? Because in Florida, there is a law called the Florida Business Judgment Rule. And what is the Florida Business Judgment Rule? It's designed to protect directors who make decisions about their condominium, right? And as long as those decisions are done in good faith.
But he's saying they didn't make the decision, and it wasn't in good
But
faith.
the decision
10 years
now,
ago.
the decision now to make these repairs and do what they have to do and move forward and pass a special assessment and throw in an extra $2 million to people that
But if they
expect not to
ignored
pay.
it, that is kind of ignoring their fiduciary duty. He's kind of right there.
What are the damages that they ignored this? So it's being done now instead of 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So what? Right?
10 years ago. It's been known about for 10 years. They've been arguing over this.
Hey, let me tell you, and again, I hate to talk about this, but the Champlain Towers, right? When in 2018, when the board was originally approached, it's my understanding that they were approached with a bill of $5 million, right, to fix the interior garage.
Sure.
And
that collapsed,
yeah,
right.
exactly. They didn't collect the $5 million. Right, and then by 2021, the job became 15 million. It went from 5 million to 15 million. Think about that.
Right. What would have been 10 years ago for this guy?
Yeah, I mean, and is that breach of fiduciary duty? No, I don't think a court will ever step in and say, look, that was the decision of the board at the time, not to proceed forward and to wait and try to collect more money, whatever it may be. And it's going to be really, really tough to have a finding of liability against a board for wanting to go forward now, and a finding of negligence.
I'm not against the board, against the condo itself.
Right, but the board, the association acts through its directors, so you'd have to show that what the directors did somehow is not covered by the business judgment rule, and somehow
And
it was
remember,
negligence.
if you take
Very
it to
difficult.
court, and this business judges,
Yeah.
so then you're going to have to pay the condo's attorney's fees. All you people.
And suppose it does go into receivership.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's expensive.
Now you're paying. I've been appointed a receiver before, and I can tell you that the board is removed, right? And the board members act for free.
Right.
Right.
But you have to pay.
The receiver comes in, and the receiver is typically an attorney, and that attorney is not working for free.
Hourly.
And all of a sudden, you're from not having an expense for your board. Now you're having a big expense.
Remember, if you're
So
suing the
it's a
condo, you're
lose,
suing
lose.
yourself.
In effect, yes. In effect,
Yeah.
you are suing yourself.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So that's the answer. I would I know you were looking for something else, but the Florida Business Judgment Rule protects directors, and it's designed for the following reason. You don't want to scare people from running for the board, right? I teach this all the time at the seminar. You don't want to scare directors from running for the board. You don't want directors to think that here they are, they might have saved up some money in their life, right? They retired to Florida, and then they got absolutely nuts and they decided to join a board of directors, right, for their condo or HOA. And now they got to think, wait a minute. By joining this Florida condo or HOA, is it possible that I can lose my personal assets?
Sure.
I can lose the money that I saved up personally if my board makes a bad decision? So we don't want that to happen to directors, right? The law wants to prevent that from happening to directors. So what's the law? If at any time you act in good faith, as long as you act in good faith, a court can never second guess your decisions. Don't worry about losing your personal assets. Now, when you cross that line and you act with the intent to cause harm to somebody, right, you steal from the association's coffers, you steal from the operating account, right? You're going to get sued in your individual capacity. You're going to have to give that money back from your personal money. You go after somebody because you don't like their race, their religion, their color, right? You're going to get sued in your individual capacity. You're going to have to give the money back from your personal funds, insurance, won't cover that. Okay, those are the types of things. If you take a kickback for awarding a contract, right, you're going to get sued in your individual capacity. You're going to have to give the money back from your personal funds, right? Those things are pretty obvious, right? So only in those types of instances, really, do you put your personal monies at risk? Is it possible to sue a board in their individual capacity? In every other circumstance, the board is protected by the Florida Business Judgment Rule.
Okay.
And on that note, let's take our final break of the hour. Okay, 877-850-8580.
Looking old, worn out, and in need of a fresh look? Then you need PD Painting to paint your property and make it look like new again. PD Painting will first properly prepare your home and condo and then use only the highest quality paint products. After many years in the painting industry, PD Painting has achieved a reputation for always delivering a reliable and professional finish. PD Painting is fully licensed and insured and offers a 7 to 10-year warranty. Their technicians are expert craftsmen. Let PD Painting handle all the details and then sit back and watch them restore your property and bring back that brand new look and feel. Need a service call? PD Painting will be there on the spot. Need financing? PD Painting can offer that too. Call PD Painting at 888-416-3204. Again, that's 888-416-3204. Go to the website, pdpaintinginc.com. Need painting done in your home and community? Contact the experts at PD Painting.
This message is for anyone who has taken on the important responsibility of becoming an officer or director in a homeowner or condominium association. It is also for the management companies who work closely with these caring people to make sure things are done the right way. Hello, I'm Gil Pomar, South Florida Regional President for Center State Bank, now the second largest bank based in Florida. Our bank, Center State Bank, has an amazing team of professionals who are exclusively dedicated to the homeowner and condo association market. Your job is not easy. There are repairs and new projects that need financing. There are legal and social issues that need to be understood. There are also technology and servicing issues that your residents want to be improved. Why not choose a bank that knows this business backward and forward? Why not have a local banker who will meet with you face to face whenever it is convenient for you or your board? Center State Bank has over 2,000 associations as customers for a reason. Please give us a chance to earn your business. Call Terry Russo at 954-633-1666 to make it happen. Center State Bank is an equal housing lender and a member of the FDIC.
Need an insurance evaluation, audit, or quotation for your condo association or homeowners association? If so, then you need to speak with our insurance experts at Mack Waltz. We insure over 800 associations, and we are the clear leader in this marketplace. Mack Waltz has been in business since 1989. We write insurance on billions of dollars of property values. We are an independent insurance agency representing insurance companies which specialize in condo and HOA insurance. The staff at Mack Waltz works closely with board members and property managers and regularly attends association meetings to help educate the association about their insurance policies. To learn more about how Mack Waltz can save you money and improve your insurance program, call now 954-640-6225 and ask for Greg Waltz. 954-640-6225. Mack Waltz Insurance Group. Let us protect your association. WFTL and on our YouTube channel, Condo Craze and HOAs. We're live there. We're going to get right to some comments and also the calls because we're stacked.
George writes in, my wife got her MBA from NYU Stern School in the 80s, like me. Classes were held in a building 2 blocks south of the Trade Center. Stern and Tisch and all the others should stop donating. How about this one? Tisch is a major donor to NYU. One of the buildings is called Tisch. You know what they did the other night? The Tisch, this is amazing. The Tisch family themselves went out and they put pictures on video, like showing movies, on their building. Picture how tall their building is. On their building, they showed by video a movie of all the people that were kidnapped.
Oh,
way to go! That's amazing. Kudos to the Tisch family. And and if they turn off the wallet, that would make NYU change their stance. That would absolutely do so. Richard writes in, I will never shame my Jewish mother by hiding that I'm a Jew when I visit New York City. People should never hide from what they are. Shame on them if they hate, but shame on me if I hide. Amen, Richard. That's all I can say. Who do we got? It's VJ.
Barry in Miami.
Hey, Barry.
Yeah, hi, Eric. Hi, Karen. How are you?
How are you?
Good, good. So this is the problem with the structural integrity reserve studies. An association is going to have a reserve study, let's say, for the 2025 year. And the reserve study is going to show a 10-year, actually they're going to show a 30-year cash flow analysis. It's going to show the contributions every year over the 30-year period.
Right.
And what the law says is they only need a structural integrity reserve study every 10 years.
Right.
And what you're going to have, let's say the contribution for 2025 is $300,000. They're going to put in $300,000 for the years 2025 to 2034.
Right.
They don't have to adjust it for inflation, the replacement costs.
Right.
You're going to have huge underfunding, and
Yeah.
the lawmakers are short-sighted
Yep.
in drafting the laws.
Yep.
They really don't understand the problem.
Because 10 years later, right, when they have to do it again, right, technically they should have enough money for the first 10 years, but then it doesn't factor into inflation.
Oh.
So technically they're
Look at
going to be
inflation.
so underfunded because of inflation. Well, hey, I didn't tell you to vote for Biden. What do you want me to tell you?
It's Bidenomics.
It's Bidenomics. I agree with you. That's exactly
I have
right.
Karenomics.
But the legislature should amend the statute to allow for at least 5% increases per year. Assume a 5% increase per year. Barry, is there anything in the statute that prohibits an association from assuming a 5% increase every year, though?
No, I got enacted into the law the ability to use an inflation assumption. It's
Beautiful.
voluntary, but I got that provision enacted into SB 154.
Gotcha.
They can use an inflation assumption, but they're not required.
Right.
What the law needs to say is that you have to have reserve studies every, let's say, 3 years,
3 years.
or every 5 years.
Right.
And in the intervening years between those reserve studies, you have to have a reserve study update that usually costs $1,000 to $1,500.
Right.
The reserve study doesn't have to go on site, and they update the numbers and add in inflation and add in current replacement costs. That's what the law should say.
Right. So it's
but
so
the lawmakers.
so it would be a
not do
minor
that.
cost. That's the bottom line. It would be a minor cost.
A minor cost.
Right. Okay.
Minor cost. It's done on their computer at their office.
Gotcha.
It's a nothing cost.
So it doesn't mean going through a whole reserve analysis again. It's just a reserve analysis that assumes
Right.
inflation. I love it. Hey, Barry, you're the hardest worker out there, and I sincerely appreciate what you do. And I look forward to working with you in this upcoming legislative session. I really do.
Great.
Okay?
Thank you.
You be well. Who else we got, VJ? Really quick.
Herman in Broward County.
Hey, Herman.
Not Munster.
Herman Munster, right. How are you, Herman?
1313.
That was my nickname.
Do
you live at 1313 Mockingbird Lane?
How can we help, Herman?
Yes. I live in a small homeowners community of 30 units. It's single family. And I recently decided to upgrade to impact windows. And I sent the paperwork and everything from my contractor to the board. And I guess the trouble is, originally 30 years, 26 years when the place was built, the windows were colonial as far as they had the little squares on them.
Okay.
And the new windows today do not have the squares. And I noted to the homeowners association that when I was denied, they said it doesn't conform. And then I mentioned to them, well, this house, 2 doors away, 8 years they've had these windows.
Right.
How is it not a problem then?
Right.
So this is becoming a pain.
Tell me, oh, they're going to send a letter
pain,
to the
I
owner.
guess. That's a good one, Karen.
I don't think you can send a letter to the owner after 8 years.
No, I don't think you can. So are you saying that they're saying the association's taking the position you put in the wrong windows? Is that what I got?
They won't let him put
They
them
won't
in
let him
because
put
there's
the
no
windows
window
in.
panes.
Okay.
No, I followed the request and sent in the paperwork, and I was told
They were
no.
done. Okay,
and
all
then
right.
I informed them.
Herman,
that
hold on.
These windows already exist.
I got it, but two wrongs don't make a right. If they let somebody screw up 8 years ago by putting in windows, sometimes communities have a certain look about
Well,
them.
but
a
maybe-
community with windows with panes has a certain
But
colonial
Herman
look.
maybe is asking for permission rather than making
got-
an apology. The other people probably didn't ask for permission. Just put
got
them
it.
in.
But just because that person was given permission, perhaps incorrectly, wrongfully,
Or they didn't ask for
or they
permission.
didn't ask for permission, and just because they did it 8 years ago doesn't mean that Herman has the right to do it now. And I'm in favor, unfortunately for you, Herman, I'm in favor of
But
you being denied.
Do they do
if that's what they
hurricane
require.
impact windows with panes?
I don't know.
I don't think
Have
so.
no
that would make
idea.
them less structural.
Perhaps. We got time for one more call. Who do we got?
Lorraine in Boca.
Lorraine, how are you?
She's listening to her radio.
Lorraine, turn your radio down, Lorraine. 5. Lorraine, you there? We'll give a 5 count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who else we got?
It's Sam in Tampa Bay.
Sam in Tampa Bay. How are you, Sam?
Yeah.
How can we help? Sam
Oh my
got
God.
cut off. Anybody?
There he
Yeah,
is.
there you go. Who we
You hear
got?
me?
Yep,
Yeah.
Sam.
Okay. A while back, you had mentioned getting the information, do a notice of inquiry. I did do that, and I got some answers back. And thank you for leading me the way to get some answers. This is my question. This is regard to my question of who on the board has been certified or otherwise not signed the letter that they read the declaration. And my answer that I got back was that they had passed the online course provided by Pro License Florida. Do you know anything about Pro License Florida?
No, I don't, and I have no idea how they work, but I will tell you that the caller that called 2 minutes ago, Barry has looked at some of these online courses.
Right.
Do you know how they work?
No.
You can literally log in. They tell you to go to a website.
No.
You go to the end, okay? You click. You literally watch 1 minute of it, go to the end, and then they send you your certificate.
30 seconds.
If you can believe it. So I'm not in favor of these
Yeah, but-
online classes.
But
I'm not
people-
saying that
they
theirs
signed
is.
the affidavit. They haven't even looked
Right,
at
it's
anything.
all either the legislature is going to make this real, or unfortunately, it's not real. It's terrible. But I got that little whisper in my ear by VJ. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Really enjoyed today's show.
too.
And we'll speak to you again next week on Condo Craze and HOAs. If you need legal help off the air, call Glazer and Sachs, 954-983-1112. Again, 954-983-1112. Everybody stay sharp and safe. Have a great week.
Happy Halloween.